All right. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is another episode of the Ryan Report Podcast, Unlimited Leeway Life. Today we got a special guest in the building. This is a MC, rapper, interesting mind. I met this guy, NOLA rap scene, New Orleans local scene. I think we're both in the new Renaissance. Maybe not the same,
Yeah,
like
two different
eras of the new Renaissance. And this guy, back in the day, this is one of the guys that I personally just think about it. Like back when I was just knee deep in the rap game, doing whatever, and just living life as a teenager, early 20s. This is a guy that, through the substance of his music, he's what people would consider like a conscious rapper in the most broadest way of saying that. He was always very quiet, but you always knew that he knew a lot, had a lot on his mind, and was well researched in certain aspects of just things in general, culture, New Orleans culture, and stuff like this. And in 2020, when everything was going crazy and the world was going crazy, I was pretty much just observing everybody and watching how everybody was moving in the middle of the pandemic, for lack of better words, the spiritual aspect of everything that was going on. And MidCityAB, I said your name, but this guy was very interesting to watch, the way he moved throughout the entire pandemic and still to this day. And we're going to have an interesting conversation today so I can see where he's coming from. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is MidCityAB, y'all.
Thank you for having me, man.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Let me make sure one of these is the right one. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, shit. All right, bet.
Yeah, do all that. MidCityAB is in the building.
Let me ask right now before we start.
Go ahead.
Should I not be heavy on, like, the curse words and stuff? Or...
It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't curse too much. I mean, I just try not to curse too much in general. Yeah. And then depending on who's there and how much they cursing, I'll just kind of.
What about your other guests so far? How they
Ray Wimley doesn't curse at all.
Right? You
so
told me.
I just don't curse when I'm around him.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Jordan Barnes was talking about all kind of stuff with the baby and Lil Nas X, so it was hard to get around without saying some wild stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's whatever, man. However you feel comfortable talking.
Nah, sometimes I get too passionate, and I'm gonna work on it today. I'm gonna work on it today. I'm gonna get my point across without that. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna still, yeah, but
that'll work.
Just a disclaimer.
That'll work. All right. Like I said, this guy's been very interesting to watch during the pandemic. Listening to a couple of his new songs, and he's a guy that's very quiet. A lot of humor. the way that I see like things that you'll tweet, retweet, like, just post in general, is a lot of humor around it.
Gotta be, man.
But when I pay attention, it's like you'll get sprinkles of. I think I kind of get an idea of where what he's thinking.
Gotta put a little sugar in the green peas, make it easier to go down,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I wanted to have a conversation with him and let him cook today. We was talking, and you said we was talking a little bit, and you explained to me that at a young age, which is impressive, you came to the conclusion that it would be best to live your life without following any type of ideology.
Mm-hmm. About 17, I think I was.
17.
About thereabout. Yep.
And what did ideology mean to you then, religiously, politically?
I saw just how, my dad, he watches History Channel a lot. So every time I walk in his room, in my dad's room, he watching History Channel, and it's always the Jews versus this person, the Germans versus these people, black people versus. I saw that as a young age. Before I even understood it or tried to go in depth, I was like, damn, it's just groups of people fighting each other. It seems like these books that people are, professing their love for, like, divulging in, it's causing a lot of just confusion. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try to understand this, because let's be honest, we all walking through this experience. We just pop up in a random story one day and we just go along with it.
Right.
Right? And we're teaching each other not to question it, you know. They just put that book in front of you as soon as you wake up one day and you just go along with it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try to, it was this poem, I can't remember, Robert Frost, I think, The Road Less Traveled, you know. So I'm like, man, a lot of people seem like they scared to walk this path. I'm going to walk down it, you know, and whatever there, it be there, you know. So, yeah.
So it's mostly religiously, because an ideology could be a bunch of
anything.
things.
That's what I didn't know that at first. I thought it was just them books. I was like, damn, ideology is a lot.
It's a lot of things. A political ideology, a religious ideology. It's an ideology can be seen as like just a pseudo religion, because a religion is basically just a practice of any kind.
Let me tell you something else I realized later on. I think I was in college when I realized this. I said, you know what? People would always ask me, why you don't start some type of clique or some type of group or something. I'm like, man, groups get infiltrated. Black people should be the main ones who see that. Like, every time we start some type of group, yeah, it does some great things at first, but then something happens where, like, some person infiltrates the group. What's that movie that just came out about the Black Panthers, the dude who was from Get Out?
Oh, yeah. It's about Fred Hampton.
I can't remember the name right now, but
Black
Messiah. Yeah,
Black
Judas
Messiah.
and the, see what I'm saying? Like, everything we create, at least in this country, before we got in America as well, but like a lot of our groups, they start off good and then something happens to just, it go left, it gets infiltrated, you know, whatever. Not to say that we shouldn't do it, but something about us, like, we just stick to it for too long, even when it served its purpose already and it's time to move on, you know, to the point where, like, a lot of, like, I don't want to name drop, but a lot of our great, you know, institutions and just things we've created, it got to the point where it's like hindering us more than it's helping us right now, because it's like, you know, the world has moved on and it's like it's time to either get with it or get lost. Like, you really holding us back, you know. So
and you mean like specifically like black institutions, things of that nature?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay.
You know, NAACP, stuff like that, where like they still spewing the same stuff from the 1960s. But it's like, man, they got some stuff going on right now that's like, dog, like, it's not it. That's not that. That ain't this and this ain't that. Like Jesus said. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, a lot of that goes on, like institutions and just groups and just on a small scale and a larger scale, they get infiltrated.
Right. So that makes sense. Like a an ideology, the way I define it is like a pseudo religion. It's like a religion without arms and leg, without an arm or a leg. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like it's a belief system that you utilize, and it seems to people seem to take refuge within these ideologies. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like
comfort.
Yeah. People don't have ideas anymore. It's more like ideas have people. You know what I mean?
Funk flex bomb on that one, like, man. Facts.
I need to get one of those.
You
on
need
here.
to, yeah. Like, man.
The ideas,
facts.
and you see it. You see
in
it
real time, and they can't see it. That's the scariest part. It's like, damn,
like
you can't, like, they blind to it. It's like, but that's what I was telling you about, that force. It's like they got some forces making some of this stuff happen, dog. Like, and I don't mean the powers that be suiting, some other shit that's making these
metaphysical stuff.
If you want to call it that, I ain't even put no word on it, because metaphysical, that's an ideology. They got some niggas out there who really like they live that metaphysical stuff to the point where they don't even want to be like, nah, I don't get into politics. Be like, say, bro, that's all this is right now, is politics. It ain't, I don't think, you know what I'm saying? Like, in order for you to like really change this right here, you're going to have to understand what's truly going on the physical level, not the metaphysical. Yeah. So it's like, they just, if it ain't metaphysical, it ain't me, nigga. It's like, well, see what I'm saying? Like,
it's a lot, that ain't you then.
Right, see what I'm saying? And it's like balance. You know, I think balance is it, but who knows? But yeah, though, like, it's some other shit going on. Yeah,
the ideas are taking hold of these people. They tend to and I want to be very careful about this, because you're right. Like, you can easily like jump from one ideology to another one, true. And so I just try to keep myself understanding these different things, whether that be as much as I know about politics, as much as I know about religion, as much as I know about I call it New Age spirituality
Yeah.
and all of these different things.
Without going down a rabbit hole too
Without
much.
yeah,
'Cause
without
boy.
yeah, in which I can say this is what it is, or
Mhm.
this is what I know.
Facts.
Because a lot of these ideologies, man, it's like I'll sit there and I mean just keep it real, because the one that's running the most rampant is this radical left ideology.
The social media shit.
I mean, well, it's perpetuated on social media, but this radical left, like left wing ideology,
Ultra liberal shit.
ultra liberal
Everything
stuff.
can fly.
Yeah,
I ain't against
everything
nothing.
can
I ain't
fly.
against nothing.
Yeah,
At all. I ain't against nothing.
you know, and
Mhm.
it's kind of like I sit there and they'll say some things. You can tell if somebody's an ideologue because I know what you about to say before you even start
Yeah,
talking.
they just spewing rhetoric.
Rhetoric.
They just spewing shit. Yeah, it ain't even come from them sitting back and thinking and coming to that conclusion. They just saying what they read somewhere, you know.
Right. You know, and this is just, it's, I don't know how much you looked into this kind of stuff,
Mhm.
but you saying that you abandon ideology in one way or another, that's something that I've been doing a lot lately, because it really all started in 2016 with the whole election with Trump, and when that was going on, before that I just didn't really care about politics one way or another.
Right.
I was
You
just
saw the theater. It's a theater.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I wouldn't even say that. I just didn't. It was ignorance, really. I just didn't really find. I didn't care. You know,
Okay.
I wasn't mature enough to recognize the necessity of it, the necessity of at least acknowledging it. You know what I mean? I just wasn't really worried. And when Trump was happening, I was like, he's not gonna be the president. You know what I mean? And then once it happened, everything just went crazy, and everything started to polarize so badly, and people's true colors started to come out. And I had friends that, turns out my white homie, he's a whole Trump supporter. You know what I mean? And, and we used to just play video games, but he's a Trump supporter, and he doesn't agree with police disproportionately arresting black people. He says that's not true. And then I'm arguing with him online about that. And then I got another homie who goes to these like HBCUs, and he's like going hard for transgender rights, and I have my own views about that. And now I'm arguing with him about that. And I'm like, how is it possible that I'm arguing with both of these dudes? You know what I mean?
And they two different extremes, two different polar opposites on sides of the spectrum. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. You know, so, because at the end of the day, if it's arguing, I don't think that's, I mean, sometimes arguing needs to happen.
Facts.
But just all of this
Banter.
aggressive
Mhm.
verbal conflict that happens on social media nowadays, I was like, this can't be productive. So let me try and figure out what's going on. Let me try and understand where first of all, where my white homie's coming from, because that I don't understand. Then I would be Black Lives Matter because my auntie said it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like anything that Hillary Clinton said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was becoming an ideologue.
You gotta
know?
go through that.
You know?
Mhm.
And then I started to tune into some of this stuff and understand it, and try and understand it, and went down a rabbit hole of different things, and I came to the conclusion that Kendrick said it best. I ain't on the inside looking out. I ain't on the outside looking in. I'm in the dead center looking around.
That's To Pimp a Butterfly. That was on that.
That was on Section 80.
Section 80. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how I look at it now. So what do you think of, if you want to, what do you think of this whole, as much as you can say, want to say, or think is necessary to say, what do you think of all of this radical left kind of stuff that's going down? Like this attack on freedom of speech, this attack on, we don't even have to get too deep onto the, some of those conversations about pronouns and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But just the when it gets down to the freedom of speech thing and other things like that. What do you think?
Well, I say freedom of speech ain't what we thought it was. You know, like a lot of stuff about the Constitution is like, it sound good on paper, but like there's not been 1 year since the country existed that shit rung true, like in reality. You know, it's like freedom of speech, long as you saying what I like, nigga. You know, it's always been like that. So when they say stuff like, oh, make America great again, or like, I hear black people saying stuff like that, like, oh, this ain't the America I was raised in. Like, you show my nigga? Like, this been, you know what I'm saying? It's just been different phases we going through, you know? So I think, and that's why I can't tell people to like throw the Bible out completely, even though I said I'm walking through, because like, dog, Twitter, I've watched Twitter. I made a Twitter in 2008. I remember I was in high school. They was like, dog, they got this thing called Twitter. You could follow celebrities, and like, I was like, word? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they like, yeah, like you could really follow them and talk to them. And like, I watched Twitter go from something so innocent like that in 2008, 2009 to some straight biblical shit right now. This shit is some shit straight out the Bible. Like, if they make a Bible in like a few hundred years, Twitter gonna be in that bitch.
Right.
Facts. Like, you know what I'm saying? This shit is biblical. Like, some of this shit I see on Twitter every day is some shit I read about that's on the dark web.
Right.
That shit is there, and people don't even realize it. Like, I watch black women that I know in real life straight up arguing with troll accounts that's like saying like fucked up shit about black women. They don't realize, they think they talking to a black man. They talking to some white boy who just trolling them from Reddit and 4chan. And you tell them that, and it's like they don't even hear you. Like, they don't want to hear that shit.
Right.
And it's like, it's some other shit going on. So like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and when you see that shit play out in real time, you like, it's some other shit going on. It's some forces we cannot see that's propelling this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. Like, whatever you want to call it, God, the devil, metaphysical, I don't know, but it's some shit going on. So,
right.
Yeah.
I said that myself. I was like, man, it's probably 100,000 automated phones in one room with
sending that shit out.
With pictures of them with a cat, or pictures with, you know, the white dude with the black shades on, like he a MAGA with MAGA on it, and then sending out all kind of stuff. And then real people is creating the feedback loop by responding to it,
giving the energy,
and then it gives them this idea that the world is a certain way when it's actually not.
And then you question, like, all right, so what type of people would do that, and why do they want our energy so much? You know. Like, what's going on, that trolling shit? Because this is a troll culture right now. What are they getting from that? They're getting something from it, you know? And then that's what, like, there's some other shit going on. That's why I was saying, like, I put this on my Instagram. I went on a little rant, a little tangent. I don't really do that a lot, but sometimes I'm like, fuck it. They using the planets against us, dog. Like, they really, it's some esoteric astrology shit going on. It's some, like, they really, like, they only do certain things to us regarding our energy during like planet cycles and like moon phases. It's some weird shit they doing, but they not stupid. People be like, oh, we just gotta educate white people. Nigga, they created racism. How we gonna teach them about racism? They created this shit. Like, how we gonna educate them? No. You know what I'm saying? Like black people got it fucked up.
Critical race theory.
Yeah, like black people got it fucked up, dog. Like, it's some other shit going on.
Yo, fam, and I don't even know if you have an opinion on some of this stuff, but I wrote it down. I'm gonna get this off, man. Some of this stuff, it's like, fam, what is y'all doing, bro? Like, what is it? They don't understand. So with that being said, it's like with all of these social media echo chambers that people exist in, and then they create these ideas of what the world is like when it may not be that, because they're talking to bots and stuff. It's like, yo, y'all don't understand the ramifications of this shit.
Facts.
Y'all don't understand where this could go. I was just talking to my peoples about this. Have you ever read a book called The Gulag Archipelago?
What is it?
It's by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. I've read a bit of it, but I've read many scholars talk about this book. And basically, they always speak about this book when they speak about the radical left and the things that are going on in politics right now. And it basically depicts, it's a nonfiction, and it depicts a guy and his experience as a Soviet Union like prison guard. You know what I mean? And then he became like a prisoner of the guard by going against some of the powers of it.
Okay.
And he explains, they always try and explain this like, yo, this is where this looks eerily familiar to that.
Mm-hmm.
And what people don't seem to recognize is you can be that person. You know, Nazi guards and these guards in the Soviet Union, the Gulag, did not think they were doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
It was a gradual rise into something that's just what it is, and that's kind of what it's turning into now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, fam, I don't think people don't think about this kind of stuff. You know, I don't know if you have an opinion on that, but like, we're a hop and a skip away from communism, fam. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just something that's just beyond me. I would just suggest that everybody go read The Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn to try and get a better understanding of who you could be. You can be that person. You may think that your actions are virtuous. You know what I mean? You're fighting for these people's rights. You're
you tell
fighting
yourself that over and over. You look in the mirror, and that's how you keep going.
And
telling
then-
yourself,
and you don't recognize the negative aspects of what you're doing. You say that you're for something, but you're probably more against something with this guise of I am for this. I am
Right.
for all of these virtuous stances. You know what I mean? And another good book to read is, and you can read them if you want, Parasitic Mind by God Sad. How infectious ideas are killing common sense. He relates all of this stuff to a parasitic wasp infecting the brain of a spider, and it's just crazy because I have conversations with these people, and it's people I've known all my life.
yeah.
And it's like, where did this happen?
Uh-huh.
I think it's in the schools.
You think?
Oh my God, yes. It's always the ones that have this. They have this superior, this idea of superior understanding because they went to these U.S. institutions,
yeah.
and that are funneling them this information that's creating ideologues. And then the contradicting thing about it is, you got the information from the U.S. institutions, but apparently the U.S. institutions are all flawed. You'll say that.
you say that yourself. Yeah, that's funny.
You'll
Yeah.
say that with your own mouth.
But then turn around and be like, well, yeah, I learned this. Like, I see people tweeting stuff like, oh my God, every day I get on Twitter and I see that people wasn't paying attention in basic psychology 101. It's like, but then they turn around and say how that whole institution was flawed. It's like, how you gonna ridicule people for not paying attention in psychology class? But then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's this dude named Edward Bernays. I think he was the nephew of Sigmund Freud.
Okay.
And so he went to Sigmund Freud. He was like he was looking around at society like, yeah, I ain't fucking with this shit, right? But his nephew, Edward Bernays, he went to him like, yo, can you teach me a lot of like your terms and like ways of thinking and whatnot? So Freud put him on game thinking he gonna use it for good. Edward Bernays, like, he went to America and he basically put all these different corporation heads and stuff like that, like, on different ways to like the way people think and how to trick people. Like, he was the reason why all these cigarette brands like blew up and stuff, like where they would market themselves towards women during wartime, like telling women that, oh, you're more masculine, you're more strong when you smoke a cigarette, you look that way. Like, yeah, y'all look him up, Edward Bernays. Like, they should have some type of documentary on YouTube. It's Bernays, I think. But yeah, he's just behind a lot of the ways, like, just that subtle and subconscious trickery they do in commercials and advertising and things like that.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, how could you say that the U.S. institutions are flawed. You say that the government's flawed. You need to break it down from the bottom up. But then, they're telling you all of this stuff on the news,
right? Exactly.
And in the media. Since when are they telling you the truth? You know what I mean? And you also say that.
It's scary to look in the mirror and say that, though. You know, it's so scary because it's like, I graduated from college, right? And I ain't gonna lie, I came home to New Orleans just on some shit like, oh yeah, I'm about to save these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, New Orleans basically helped me unlearn. The 4 years I've been back home from college helped me unlearn the 4 years I was at college. Because it was like, all right, nigga, come on. Let's see what's really popping now.
Yeah.
I'm about to show you why a majority of the stuff you learned over there is flawed and it's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And New
Right.
Orleans really did that. You know, so yeah, man, like we really gotta. I don't know. Black people gotta tap into some other shit. Like,
We gotta be open to other sources of information.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta, like I had to go into radical right, conservative stuff in general.
you have to. Yeah,
I had to.
You gotta
because
know
I was
what they
like,
think.
what are you talking
How
about?
you gonna fight them and you don't even know what they
Who's
think?
telling you this?
Mhm.
Because I know for a fact that the police is doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so what is telling you that? So I watched Ben Shapiro, what's the other dude's name? Some of the just Candace Owens, some of
Yeah.
these, and it's like because I'm a regular person. I
Black
agree
people
with
are conservative. Black people in America, we conservatives by nature on some shit.
a lot of people. Like
Mhm.
you, if you stand here and tell me that you're all the way liberal or you all the way conservative, then you're lying,
You lying.
or you don't know yourself.
You a lie.
You
and
know
you,
what
and
I'm
you
saying?
lying to your, cause soon as you talking all that liberal stuff, soon as your mama come in the room, you gonna look at her like, nah, mama, don't get up here. You gonna put your, you know what I'm saying? Be like, mama, watch your mouth. Like, what you mean, baby? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If you gotta do all that, you know you don't come from that type of household.
Right.
You come from a conservative household, and there's nothing wrong with that. Be honest. Like,
Yeah.
you feel me? Like, and it's like people wanna just act like, I don't know, they just faking the funk. Shit gonna get revealed though.
Yeah, she's gonna get revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so I had to check out all of that stuff, and then I got into this guy Jordan Peterson. I bring him
Yeah.
up a lot. I even got to the point of thinking, am I bringing him up too much? Am I in an echo chamber of his ideas? How do I know his ideas aren't just swimming in my brain? But it's like
That
he's
other dude, what's the other dude name you brought up? Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro,
he a fuck boy.
Yeah. No,
But Jordan
like,
P- yeah.
no,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ben
See,
Shapiro, fuck
and that's
boy.
what I learned.
Mhm.
It's like on both sides. Like Ben Shapiro is a he's a radical right ideologue.
But he wearing that suit and tie, try to act like he's so.
He's like a what do they call
he
it?
cleaning it up on some shit.
He's like a Orthodox Jew. You know what I mean? He says hip hop isn't music.
Right.
I shut that off. You know, when you have your own brain, you can determine what parts of somebody's stance you agree with and which parts you don't. You know what I mean? Like, but this guy Jordan Peterson, I don't feel like I'm stuck in an echo chamber of his ideas simply because he gets them from the greatest psychological thinkers. He studies Nietzsche, Jung, all of these people, and his basis on talking to people is assume the person you're talking to knows something that you don't.
That's a great way to live life.
Assume the person you're talking to knows something that you don't. And that's pretty much what got me into looking around. You know what I mean? Simple as that. And we could touch on some of that too, but what you just said about faking the funk, I wanted to talk to you about hip-hop. Hip-hop and politics, and how this ideology stuff and this politics has infiltrated hip-hop.
Yeah.
From the Biden election, from all of these different things. You see it. It's all on social media. What is your take on that? And then I'll kind of go through some of these topics, I guess.
Just hip hop in general.
Hip hop in general. Like when the Biden thing was going on, I like to assume that people think a lot of this stuff is absolutely idiotic, but apparently they don't. Sometimes you give people a lot more credit than they should be given. But why is Cardi B talking to Joe Biden? I see that and I'm like, oh, that's stupid. And then I see people actually giving credence to it. And I'm like, what is going on?
That's something they've been doing us though. Malcolm X talked about that in the 60s. He was like, whenever it come down for black people, like something serious is going on, instead of them going to like our people who like really study this stuff all day, they troll us. And they're like in the 60s, they would go get people like can't think of the Sammy Davis Jr. and like they go get entertainers, and you know all they gonna do is talk to their publicists and then spew that rhetoric that the Democrats want them to say, you know, and that's all it's gonna be. So they do that on purpose, and it's not enough of us saying no, we love them, we love Cardi B, but not right now, love. No, this ain't what you do, and we need people like Cardi B to say, you know what, y'all talking to the wrong person. Let me hook you up with so-and-so right here. They gonna speak, because then that's when the real shit gonna start happening. They're gonna be like, wait, no, we want to talk to you, Carter. Like, no, why? We need to get to that. But it's like enough of us don't see the play. We don't see the full scope. We see the trees, we don't see the forest. You feel me? So, and that just come from us not knowing that this is what they do, the tactics, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
I think some people, when I was first seeing that kind of stuff, as well as stuff like just hip hop in general, just praising Joe Biden. I didn't have no real thing. I had to look into Joe Biden to find out who he is, why he mattered, and why people liked him or did not like him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, crime bill, all of this stuff. You find out all of this stuff.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I'm like, fam.
Yikes.
I'm like, what is y'all talking about?
Mm-hmm. Then they tell you in your face what he said. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Bitch,
It's like, what is you talking about?
Get him out of here.
And it was still jeffing for that.
Man.
I think some people is either, I say this all the time when it comes to this hip hop and politics stuff. Either you pandering or you ignorant. Either you pandering or you ignorant, and then you won't even be in the conversation if you just simply don't care or know enough.
Mm-hmm.
But
and then
if you giving credence to it and you saying, yeah, I love this, Joe Biden this, then you have to be either pandering because you want to be able to exist in this space that has been infiltrated by politics, and you can't even really exist in this to a certain degree,
right?
Especially on a large scale, unless you is agreeing with these things,
right.
You know what I mean? Or you're ignorant and you truly believe that some of this stuff is genuine. You know? And
scary hours. Scary hours for real, man.
Man, and it's like, you know, one of the things, that's one of the reasons why I started this podcast. I still make music, but
it's like, some other shit going on. Like I be saying, it's some other shit going on. It's like, I said that one day. I was like, man, it's getting so ugly. I be needing new forms of expression just to talk about what you niggas is doing. Like some of this shit you can't make rhyme. You gotta get on a podcast and just say you can't make this shit rhyme.
That's what I said. I was like, yo, screw this. I'm not making this rhyme. I'm done with it. I wrote a song about that. I was like, I got tired of telling the real and the rhyme because I can't get it off, fam. Look, we gotta just say what's going on. And that's, you know, I'm very conscious, and that's on a more mature and morally stance. Why I go about my music in a different way now. I'm very conscious of what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But in general, I started this podcast because I just felt like we needed to start having these conversations just straight up, you know? And music started to seem...
They trolled it, man. Like, just think of the era 2011 to now, what we just saw happen to rap. Not even on some hip hop is dead shit. Just what the fuck was that? The past 10 years since me and you came in the rap game, like what the fuck was that? Like honestly, son.
Like what in particular?
The way we came in, like, cause we came in this era where it was like this it was like a 90s resurgence type thing, right? And it was just like on some true school shit. Like we had a lot of just rappers who was just authentic, and like we craved that era, that generation. We craved raw shit. You know what I'm saying? And to see how just 10 years later it's just on the shit that is on now, and like watching it like play out, you're like, man, what the fuck was that? What just happened?
What happened?
Yeah, like like real shit. Like that wasn't natural. It's some other shit going on. I'm gonna keep saying that. You might well just name that the name of this episode. It's some other shit going on. That's all I'm saying, dog. Like it's some other shit going on.
You know, hip hop just started to seem and hip hop is a very necessary genre when done correctly. It's a very useful and necessary genre if you honor food for thought and creating food for thought. But it started to seem so unnecessary and at a lot of times counterproductive.
Facts.
And that's so new for me. I just used to have fun.
Yeah, it really was fun when we first came out, dog. Like we were really like cram into like one little lounge and white tees and regular jeans and just rap our heart out like young niggas just spitting, you know what I'm saying? About real shit though.
Yeah.
Teenagers. You know what I'm saying? And just see now like, man, like what the fuck was that? Like, like what the fuck? It's some other shit going on, son. Like, man, like, I don't know, dog. But that's cause I used to I used to read a lot about this thing called entropy. If anybody heard of entropy before, it's like this law in thermodynamics where it said that everything in nature has this it just evolves and devolves into chaos for some reason. That's just some natural part of some earthly law, right? So I started seeing that and like, damn, maybe rap is just going through some type of entropy phase where it served its purpose. Now it's dwindling, right? Jazz did the same thing. A lot of people said it started off as, something in New Orleans that people made after slavery and whatnot. The next thing you know, in the 60s and 70s, they was making jazz music that the average listener didn't even want to hear no more. It was too complex and shit. You couldn't even like nod your head to it. It's like they were playing, the musicians were playing for themselves to like impress each other.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't serving its purpose anymore.
Yeah.
So I started believing that, but then I started saying, I don't know if that's true either. I don't know if entropy really hold that much weight. It might be some other shit going on.
Man, you cook right quick, bro. What is your man, cook right quick, bro? First of all, I wanted to ask you about a bunch of stuff, but I ain't trying to guide no conversation too
whatever,
strongly.
man.
It's like
whatever.
What you think is going on in 2020, and what you think that we should be doing.
I don't know.
Hey, look, I said this before we started. I was like, bro, a lot of people want MidCityAB to start talking, bro. He gave me, I ain't even gonna run into his explanation, but he gave me a good explanation. But a lot of people out here, it's like something's going on, but I don't know. But I don't know. I'm just gonna fall in line, and they want you to talk or exist, be present, be seen in a with a stance that isn't being seen right now.
Right. Man.
Do it.
All I can say is this age of Aquarius shit came in busting.
Yeah.
It came in busting. Like, I don't even know, dog. It's like the age of Aquarius watch everything the age of Pisces was doing. It's like you ever been on a job where like you had a boss, right? Then the boss quit or get fired, and then this new nigga come in just like don't even give a fuck how we was doing shit before. He came in, he just come and change everything. He like, say it, son. No, like, brother, how you know? The age of Aquarius, like, nigga, fuck that. This is how we about to do this shit.
Right.
Like, and that's how this bitch thing came in. Like, it came in just disrupting everything. That's all I can say, dog.
What's some stuff that kind of affected you in 2020, whether in your mind or in real life, that you was like, okay, this shit different?
Pretty much the same stuff as everybody else, but I could say this. I started feeling the shift. I can honestly say I first really felt the shift towards what's going on right now in the summer of 2019. If anybody could think back, 2019 was a strange year. Like, for some people, it might have been normal, but for a lot of people, that bitch was just popping. Like, I think back of, like, niggas was wilding summer 2019. It was City Girls, Act Up, Cucumber Challenge. Like, niggas was wilding.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas was wilding. Like, that was a fun year. Like, that bitch was just popping. But I remember I was at Essence Fest. I was lit. I was on my level. And I was looking around. I was like, I don't know, dog. Life's starting to get weird. You know what I'm saying? And like less than a year later, a pandemic pop off, and I'm like, I knew I wasn't tripping. Like something different, like something weird. I felt the shift. Then I started getting more into like astrology and shit, and they started talking about the new sun and how the Mayans predict this, or like, and I'm like, what the fuck is really going on? It's some other shit going on.
You gotta watch the episode with Frequency, bruh. Man,
he got on that.
He got on. He taught that's the most. It shot up to the highest watched one, and it was the second one. You know, because the people that his following really is on that. Yeah, and he probably was. Yo, he's spitting facts. Age of Aquarius, Nibiru, the second sun, and all of this stuff. You know, oh man, I just had a point that. Oh yeah, see, in 2019, I had I gotta find better ways of describing this, but in 2019, I had probably the most profound spiritual experience that I had ever had in my entire life.
Same.
In which I was like, oh, this is what they're talking about. I can see it all over the place, you know? And it it was a bunch of weird stuff, a bunch of weird synchronicities. It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was messed up. It was
Yeah.
like, okay,
It was just popping.
It was
busting.
life got really cool. At least it got very interesting after
Mhm.
that. Because it was a lot less mundane. I recognize that there's a lot more going on to life than.
There's some other shit going on.
But in 2020, so I'm having this experience, and everything's so surreal.
Mhm.
And this is before the pandemic and
Yep.
stuff. And then I'm just inside, bro. I'm just inside reading,
Cool.
watching YouTube. Like
Mhm.
this is by the time I recognize, oh, I'm having some sort of spiritual experience. I'm reading, watching stuff. And then my people, we always meet up on Orleans for Zulu.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna come out there. I don't want to, but I'm gonna come out there. Oh, the Hard Rock.
Did Mardi
That
Gras
was
not that last Mardi?
let
That
me- that's-
bit
let me
was
tell you.
weird.
Let
Shit
me
wasn't
tell
right.
you.
That bit was gray the whole time. The sun was like, I'm good on y'all niggas.
Look,
it was overcast.
And then the Hard Rock Hotel happened.
people falling
couple-
from
couple
the
months-
parade floats and shit.
That was in like October of 2019.
Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm.
And then, so I'm out there at Zulu with my family and stuff. I got my hoodie on. I got my headphones on. And I'm just sitting there like, because everything's so weird in my mind and around me. I'm like, something's going on. Like, I'm just in the middle of the parade, son.
Me
like,
too.
they catching bees. Like,
Yup.
I think this had to been, I forget exactly the order, but it may have been right after all of those people got hit
Mm-hmm.
by them floats.
The floats, people falling off the float just every day.
Yo, and I'm sitting there like, something's going on. Even my uncle was like,
This shit ain't right.
why did you come out here? I was like, I don't know. I said, I guess to see your ass. Shoot, I want to go home. Something's going on. Man, fast forward, I'm at work, still like something's going on, but I got to do my job. And then they like, we just lost a client because of COVID-19. And I'm hearing people talk about that, but I ain't thinking about that.
Mhm.
He's like, okay, cool. Next week. Okay, your hours just got cut because we lost like a bunch of clients this week because of COVID-19. I'm like, okay, whatever. It ain't going to be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you don't come into work next week because of COVID.
Like, alright.
And I was like,
Aight.
all right, it's lit. I get a week off.
A week. Longest week ever, boy.
Bro, I went home, bro. He called me. He said, all right, we're going to be doing this training and stuff, but y'all not coming back. You're furloughed, this and that, COVID-19 crazy. Because I was at a hotel. I was an AV tech.
Yeah.
So they can't come in this hotel. You know, they traveling from all over the place. And then that started the beginning of the pandemic quarantine, which was kind of lit in the beginning, I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, like, then you seen that documentary? I think Neutral Grounds did it. Either Neutral Grounds or A Million Roses. It was the Mardi Gras of 2020.
Nah, I ain't see it.
That's a good documentary.
It
Yo,
is?
shout out Neutral Grounds. Or yeah, I believe it was Neutral Grounds. And they talking about it because fam was out there filming just in general, and he was catching stuff while it was happening.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that Mardi Gras 2020 was like the super, like, it kicked it off. Like, because everybody was coming. Somebody came from
Yeah, super spreader event.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They say somebody came from China to
Mhm.
New York, and then
Came to
people
Mardi Gras.
came to
Yeah.
Mardi Gras,
Mhm.
and then everybody catching it all around each other,
Yeah.
and then they all went back to where they was at,
Mhm.
and then it like just caught fire.
Yeah,
You
there was
know?
some other shit going on. I had that same experience at Zulu. It's like I'm lit. Like other people be saying, like when they inebriated, they don't be tapped in. And I don't know.
You do?
I was on my level on that Brown on St. Charles by the bridge, watching the floats, eating my Popeye's chicken.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I'm looking around like, yeah, this shit ain't right. Something ain't, this don't even feel like, you know what I'm saying? Usually I just be like really turned. I was not turned. I was like, yeah, no. So, something just ain't popping. And like, just a lot of weird stuff was going on for me around that time. Like I was having, like, I quit my job probably 3 weeks before the pandemic popped off. But it wasn't just on a whim.
Yeah.
Like it was on some real, like, I couldn't work there no more, like mentally.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was in that bit
Mhm.
trying to act like shit was normal, and my
Mhm.
brain was like, "Bitch, get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
And like I was leaving my job, and they called me like, "You all right?" I'm like, man, I just had to go. They like, the fuck, this ain't like you, because I'm just so like disciplined and just regular. So if I'm going through some mental shit, bitch, it's popping. Like me, AB, Arnold, no, like
Right.
something going on. So
Yeah.
it's like I knew I wasn't tripping. Seeing that all this stuff going on right now, it's some other shit going on that made me quit my job 3 weeks before the pandemic. You know
Man,
what
I
I'm
put in
saying?
my 2 weeks notice in December.
Mhm.
And I was about to go climb Mount Everest, like, because this was in the awakening. This before COVID.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm about to go climb Mount Everest. I was like, I'm about to go jump out a plane into the ocean. And I put in my 2 weeks notice, and then I went on Christmas break, and some crazy stuff happened. And then I came back, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna need my job. And then I stayed, and then I stayed,
Mhm.
and then 2 months later, I lost it anyway.
Right. Son, 2019 really, like, for a lot of people, I just remember that summer, like, a lot of people was just like, they was either hurt by like something in life or something a person did them, but they was just going through this like transformative stage. Like everybody just wanted to transform and just be the best them.
2019.
Yeah, like everybody just felt that urge for some reason. And I, looking back, it's just so peculiar. Like, why was everybody, like you saying you wanted to climb Mount Everest, you just randomly got that urge. Everybody was just on some, like they felt some type of time clock ticking or
Yeah,
some
it started
shit.
moving. It started like, yeah, that's the other stuff that you're talking about, because it's like, I said this in the one with frequency. I was doing a whole lot of very surface level stuff, like working out, eating healthier.
Me too.
You know, running.
Yep.
I did meditating. I did yoga.
I lost 30 pounds 2019.
Word.
Like, I started eating more vegetables, and like, shout out my best friend Cammy, like she really like helped me with that. But like, I was hitting the gym 2 days, like like I got in shape like 2019, that 1 year, like, and that tell you a lot about black people, the power we got. Like, if we just buckle down for like 1 month, like we shake back just that fast after all the Crown and Jack and just, you know what I'm saying, all the weed you smoke, you could really, your body like got power. But
Man, let's talk about black people.
for sure.
Tell me about, man. I'm recognizing that
You
it's
got
better
that.
to just run it, yo. Like, cause I got all these topics. This happened twice. Like, I got all these topics, but for the most part, just the running it is.
It been popping.
It's like, I mean, can black people rise up and overcome? Maybe.
It's like, all right, boom. So that's another thing I ain't talking about. 2019, right? So I had quit rapping around. I put out my last real mixtape in December 2016, and I released it as an EP in like 2017, 18, but it was just a re-release. It was called Disturbing the War. I was straight on rap. Like, I saw the writing on the wall that it was just on some other shit.
Yeah.
And it wasn't how it was when I first came in the game. And instead of me being a nigga to make an ass out of myself and just like, you know what I'm saying, going out just becoming a martyr that nobody needed, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just live my life. I'm going to, like, you know what I'm saying, make my money. I'm going to travel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to just do that. So it's like I did that for like 2 years. And then summer 2019 happened. And I just started getting this feeling like something was telling me like I was given this power to rap, you know. I was always the type of person like, yeah, I'm straight with that rap shit. Like, yeah, it's not really my passion though. I really just started rapping one day, 2010, 2011. Like, I wasn't like, I never wanted to rap. So like, but if something just started hitting me 2019, like, dude, you was given this power to rap, and like people really like, years later, you quit and people still asking you when you coming back. Like, you gotta come back, telling me, like, begging me to come back. And I'm like, you really just gonna let that shit go to waste? I was like, damn, I'm tripping. Like, to the point where, like, even my coworkers telling me, like, man, you, like, when I quit my job, I was, like, one of the best workers, like, my numbers.
Yeah.
But still, like, they still was telling me, like, yeah, this shit ain't made for you. You made for some other shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They looking at me like, yeah, this ain't you. You
Right.
feel me? So, like, I started rapping again. I dropped my tape Diaspora Babies in October 2019. So to get to black people, like you asked me, like the diaspora, because we babies of the diaspora, the African diaspora, right? We come
What does
from
that mean again?
the African diaspora is basically diaspora, it means like people being exiled, either voluntary or involuntary, from one landmass to another. So when I say the African diaspora, I mean on a micro level, I'm talking about, you know, the descendants of slaves in America, in the Americas, from North America to South America, Honduras, Brazil, wherever. I'm talking about black people as a collective who come from slaves. And on a macro level, I'm talking about black people who from Nigeria but moved to London, you know,
Right.
and like stuff like that. Just black people as a whole throughout the entire world. Like even
Right.
the people in Papua New Guinea and the Aboriginals in Australia, like just the African diaspora as a whole, you know. So I came up with that, Diaspora Babies. I was trying to make it, you know, just this movement of black people embracing like the full scope. See the forest but don't see the trees, because we
Yeah.
get locked into like the Twitter stuff and like, you know, this group versus that group. But like on a macro level, we are a group of people who we the descendants of human trafficking.
Right.
When you just say, oh yeah, my people were slaves, it's like, all right, they hit a certain way. When you say like, yeah, I'm the descendant of rape victims and human trafficking victims, like the white people in the room like get nervous, like, oh shit. When you put it that way, you know, it's like it
Yeah.
hit different. You start
Yeah.
looking at them like, hold on. Like, what's up with that? You feel me? Like, yeah, that shit kind of
Right.
hit different.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I'm trying to start this movement called Diaspora Babies, and but that's the way I see it though. I'm trying to get people to see the macro instead of the micro, start focusing on the little stuff. Because when you see the full painting, it's like the little stuff, the details start making sense. I was always the type of child in school, like let's say biology class, for example. I'm sitting in there, right? Teacher on the board, like, okay, class, first day of class, like, this is the mitochondria. I'm like, hold on, what the fuck is that? And like, it's part of a cell. Like, what? What the fuck is a cell? Like, oh, nigga, it's in your body. My body? What the fuck is this? So I'm like, break it down. Like, go on the big scale.
Yeah.
Explain it macro. When you explain it like that, like a lot of like children, I feel like they'll truly understand it, because we get caught up in the details, right? Like, I think I was in 7th grade. I went from one quarter being like the worst student in my biology class to my teacher started like really sitting with me and like explaining stuff on like a fuller level, you know, seeing the forest, not just seeing the trees. And I really won an award the next quarter for most improved student. I'm like, dog, that's all you gotta say. Like, don't like explain it to me. Like, what the fuck is this? Because we don't know what this is. We really
Right.
just throwing books at each other saying it's this, read this. Nigga, we don't know what this. We popped up in a random story one day and we all just going along with it instead of coming together against the unknown. We are scared. We that scared of the unknown that we really just don't want to look each other in the eye and say, see, I don't know what the fuck this shit is. See what I'm saying? But like, if we come together against the unknown and we view the unknown as an ally with flaws, see what I'm saying? What we don't know, I feel like that's when everything will be on and popping, dog. Feel me? But yeah, that's what black people need to do. We need to really look at each other and say, all right, what the fuck going on? It's some other shit going on. And then after that, that's when the real shit will start. Niggas scared though, so. But yeah, though, man.
I don't think people even recognize that point of view
Mm-hmm.
to even find
Take
the
work.
value in it.
It take work, you know? You gotta, it's like a circle. Like you go down a rabbit hole and then you come right back to where you was at. See what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I get it now. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, they get caught up in just the whole circle, you know? And they like it. They like it there. It's just, I don't know, they get something out of it. You know, judging people and like pointing a finger and shit, instead of really trying to find a solution. Finding a solution is some hard shit, you know? But we got it in us, though. We tap into that ancient shit, that stuff that white people seem so scared of for some reason that
Yeah.
we don't even know. They understand something about us we either forgot or we don't know. But they know it. But we just, you know what I'm saying? We just walking around just going through it and they looking at us like, look at this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
See, I'm not the most educated on most most things, but
Mhm.
African culture, African like I don't see I don't know what the connection between African culture and ancient Egypt is, and
Right.
all of these different things. For a person that's completely ignorant to this stuff, what do you think the basis understanding of being black in America is? If you haven't explained it already, that someone should know.
You're a diaspora baby, man. Like you come from a foreign land, you've been made into a new people. Like you gotta ask yourself why all these black people from other parts of the globe, right?
Yeah.
Who still connected to their culture and like they speak their native language, like they know they real name, quote unquote. Like why are they looking at us, the most lost people in the
Yeah.
world?
Yeah,
Why are they
there's a
looking at us?
utility in it that we not recognizing.
It's some power that we tapped into because we come from a different part of Africa. That's why I wrote. Let me plug my books, right? Because
Go ahead.
I'm an
Plug
author.
all your stuff. Go ahead.
I wrote a book called Walk by Fate, but Fate, not Faith. It was a play on words. I wrote that I wrote it soon as the pandemic popped off. It's basically me talking about. It's a fiction novel about basically what we talking about right now. Just that whole phase we went through in 2019, that like episodic spiritual journey. I wrote that, about that basically, So that's on Amazon. And my other book, Short Stories and Essays, I wrote that in 2018. In Short Stories and Essays, I have this essay about DNA tests and how it's just another ploy to like confuse black people about race, right? Because, like, you take a person who, like, really don't understand their history, right? And they already got this view of European things like it's better than African things. They know more about Europe than they know about Africa. And you show them a sheet that says, oh, you 70% Nigerian, but you 15% Irish. They gonna lock in on that Irish because they know more about that, right? Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? So like, oh shit, I got more in common with. I done seen black people say the wildest shit since this DNA test then popped off, dog. Like, damn, they're proud of having rapist blood in them just because they just don't know no better. See what I'm saying? So yeah, we've been through a lot of shit, and black people are tapping into something very, very ancient, like stuff like Nigeria and just countries like that didn't exist until like the 1960s and shit. Like those type of borders and shit that was forced upon us, like it wasn't like that when we left Africa. So we part of a very old race. Like Africa was different when we left. See what I'm saying? So something about us is intrinsic. We tapping into some very old shit. And like it's hard to see when you focus on the details. It just look weird. Like you can see it in rap. Like if I really started taking like a lot of what these rappers saying seriously, like you really listen to their music, it's the art to this. You think these niggas just mumbling and just it's they saying some real shit when you like take it seriously. There's a lot of bullshit they got to do because of the labels and shit like that, like songs they got to make they don't really want to make. But these dudes is really saying stuff.
Like what dudes?
I mean, I ain't gonna name drop.
Well, like what kind of music? What kind of music? And
everybody, man, even Future, the most hated nigga.
Yeah, okay,
like,
yeah, I was thinking like you're talking about like the ones that you would assume aren't saying nothing.
Like 2017, his label for some reason they pushed Mask Off. Like that was just the biggest song on.
Oh yeah.
But 2 weeks after that album dropped, he dropped a tape called Hendrix. It was R&B, and that one got no push. People say they love Future, they don't even know that album exists. See what I'm saying? Right. And it was on some whole other shit. Like, I compare Hendrix, like, for black men, is like what Control did for SZA and what Over It did for Summer Walker. See what I'm saying? So, like, these dudes, like, we really tapping into some shit, some old shit that's gonna save us in the long run. But right now, it just look weird. It looks sketchy. You feel me? But yeah, we be patient. We'll start seeing how shit develop. And the same people we ridiculing and putting down and saying, oh, he just an ain't shit nigga, like, them gonna be the ones who speak for this whole generation when shit really, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like, black people, like, we doing it, we just don't realize it. You feel me? Everybody looking to us, but we supposedly the most lost and the most fucked up.
Right.
Like, white people, like, shutting us off from the rest of the world, but at the same time, they, like, funneling all our entertainment to the rest of the world, and black people are watching us. So, yeah, we got power, man. Real talk.
Nice. 3 books you think everybody should read?
I don't know. I'm a weird motherfucker. Like, people be asking me who my favorite author. There's not many authors I could say I read more than one book from. But, books that I've read before that really had an impact on me. I like Ernest J. Gaines. He's from the Baton Rouge area, I think, New Roads, Louisiana. He wrote a book called Of Love and Dust. It's basically about this white overseer on like a prison plantation style thing in the 1940s. And he has, on one end of the plantation, he's married to a white woman, but he spends his whole time on the other side of the plantation by this black woman. And like this new prisoner on the plantation, he falls in love with this black woman but he's seeing like, damn, this powerful white man on one side of the plantation, I can't have that white woman over there, and I can't have this black woman over here because he's that powerful, right? So he settles for the white woman that he doesn't really want. The black dude, he settles for the white. He don't even want her. He want the black one, but he settles for the white woman because he sees that the white overseer is spending so much time by the black woman. And in the end, I ain't gonna say what happened in the end because I don't want to tell a story. But basically, when you compare that to what's going on out here in the world, you start seeing like, oh shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Besides that, books I read that nothing really come to mind, man. I read a lot of weird shit. Like I used to read Goosebumps and shit growing up, like R.L. Stein, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I read weird shit, dog. I don't really know.
What you listening to right now?
What I'm listening to right now? Afro beats.
Okay.
Afro beats.
I remember when you was on your Future thing though.
My Future. I'm still on that. I fuck with that's my dog.
I was like, bro, he be listening to a whole lot of Future.
That's my dog. Like Future, like, man, like, that's my dog. I've been fucking with him too. Like, I ain't no new fan, like hype beats, like back in the G, but yeah, like Burna Boy, Wizkid.
Yeah, with your music, I've been seeing you doing that a lot.
Yeah, I tapped into the dance hall Afro beat stuff. Like when I dropped Diaspora Babies in 2019, like you got to develop your sound, you know. So yeah, man, I'm fucking with it. Like Afro beats is the shit. It's the future. Yeah. Afro beats is the future, man. Like rap, it does this thing where it get mundane.
Yeah.
And Afro beats does this thing where it's fusing a lot of different types of music together, hip hop and jazz and soul and, you know, just African music. Like it's fusing all this stuff together. I'm telling you, it's the future. Mm-hmm.
Tell me something about man, I don't know, man. We kind of.
And I know I'm busting. I'm letting the clip fly, like I said I was gonna do. Like,
do it some more.
Yeah, you feel me? But what else we there was other stuff you say you wanted to ponder on.
I don't know nothing about.
We touched. I feel like we touched it.
We did.
Anything else you think we missing though? Like on some real
Tell me
shit?
about Mardi Gras Indians.
Mardi Gras Indians? I don't know. That's a mystery too. A lot of shit we do is just a mystery, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's some other shit going on.
Okay.
I can always revert back to that, dog. Like, whenever you feel yourself going too far into whatever, and you just like, the fuck? Because one of my friends, her name's Catherine, she's a photographer. She one day we was at a photo shoot, and like, we kept trying to get this shot. But this boat kept passing. She was like, nah, I come here every day and a boat never right at this time. She said, there's this thing, it's a cosmic conspiracy, she called it. I said, well, damn. A cosmic, the planets is doing shit because they got a plan. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck? It's some other shit going on, dog.
All right.
Sometimes you really got to check yourself and just tell yourself, it's some other shit. Like, if you find yourself in front of Brother's Chicken at 2 a.m. on a Sunday, fussing with some nigga because he skipped the line, you know what I'm saying, and your lady, like, you just gonna let that nigga talk to you like that, and you feel yourself about to end up on NOLA.com, I be like, hold on, there's some other shit going on that's making this, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta check yourself, because you would really be like, out here, like, just head first over some dumb shit. On Twitter arguing with a bot, and you don't even know it. You gotta, it's some other shit going on. So, yeah, man, like, yeah, shit real in the field. That's all I can tell you, dog. Black people, there's some other shit going on. Tap into it. We need to step back. Stop letting these forces use us. Be they esoteric or physical. You feel me? But we still need to be grounded. Don't just be so spiritual to where you in the clouds.
Give me your opinion on psychedelics.
Psychedelics? I can't really say because I'm the type of nigga, I hit the blunt once and I just go to like, I become a philosopher. So I can't really say. I never did like shrooms and all that shit.
Because I seen you post something about, you never did none of that type of stuff?
Nah,
ever?
I
remember like seeing you post something about, there's something about God put something in the brain that psychedelics like breaches or something. You was like, God put it there for a reason.
Facts, yeah. Like, I think that's the pineal gland or something. Yeah, like, it's something that psychedelics does is like, for some people, because there's some people, I don't understand the niggas who like eat shrooms and be in the party
every
just
day.
dancing. Like, and I'm looking at them like, nigga, if I take that shit right now, I'm walking out this bitch and I'm gonna become a monk or something. Like, I'm scared to take that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody different.
Yeah.
You hear me? Like, I don't know. It's some other shit going on. I can really say.
Yeah, bro. Everybody's different with that. Like I used to do psychedelics back in the day.
You did?
Yeah.
See,
I used to do acid. I used to do. I'm sober now. I'm 7.
and you so normal right
I'm,
now. Like, what the
I'm
fuck?
6. I'm 6 months sober right now. That astrology stuff might actually have something to do with it because my brother, he's a Capricorn. You're Aquarius. Most
What you
Capricorns.
in?
I'm a Taurus.
Taurus? All right.
Most Capricorns and Aquariuses that I know can't do that shit. I don't know. Like,
It's some other shit going
like
on.
we was at Voodoo Fest and I had a great time. Like I was on acid and I was watching
Cool.
Travis Scott. It was lit. It's like the lights were nice. It was great. Everything was fun. But my brother cannot do acid, yo. Like he can't do shrooms, acid. It don't do the same thing for him. And you know, I used to like doing acid was like you can have some messed up trips. It's really cool. You can walk down the street and get something from the store and be a normal person to a certain degree on it, but it does tap you into something.
Some other shit.
Yeah, it taps you into something otherworldly.
Yeah, I envy people like y'all who could do that type of stuff and just.
I mean, I wouldn't do it no more. The last time I did shrooms was maybe 2020, and I was like, I'm not doing this shit no more. I think maybe after like the spiritual experience,
You got what you needed.
It was different. Like life is surreal enough.
Yeah,
Now.
nigga don't need this shit is a drug. I tweeted it the other day. I'm like, man, life is like a surrealist sketch show right now. I don't see how you need to tap in and like you good. Just walk outside. This
Right.
bitch popping. Like, there's some other shit going on, dog.
Now the shrooms and stuff used to have me. I could hear the music better. Like when I'm writing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I could hear the music. I could see the music, and like some of my verses was just so. I can't even explain in words. Like they were just so much more introspective without me even really trying. Like
It's real talk.
yeah, you know.
I definitely them little few months in 2019. That's what I ain't speak on either. 2019, I started just eating edibles more for some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't fuck with weed at all.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't.
know what I'm saying?
So you
But
don't
something
smoke weed.
made me, but something made me like just start fucking with edibles in 2019. Like whatever like was blocking me, that made me so different from you when it comes to psychedelics. I felt like, wait, what if that's something I'm not supposed to run from? What if it's something I'm supposed to face? So I'm just on my brave shit. Like, yeah, I just go to popping back edibles just like multiple times a week. Other people, like real smokers, don't even do that. But I'm eating them bitches. You hear me? Like, I had some fucked up trips. But at the same time, when I kept facing this shit, and I ain't telling nobody to do this shit. But when I kept facing it and kept eating them, like it got better. I started having decent highs. Like, and man, it's one thing I could say. Music sounds so much different when you high. Like, dog, that shit sounded beautiful. Like, I heard instruments I didn't even know was in a song when I was sober. You see what I'm saying? But like at a certain point, it started doing shit to my brain, playing tricks. I'm like, yeah, it's about that time I check out. You know what I'm saying? I stopped fucking with it.
I got some crazy stories on acid.
Me too. I ain't saying everything. Like, I ain't gonna say everything I did. Yeah. You hear me? Like, yeah. Nah, fuck it. I said, all right, boom.
Wait, on acid?
Nah,
on just
the first
edibles,
I popped X.
Okay.
So I'm listening to Future, all these rappers talking about being in the studio on X and shit. Like, here go my stupid ass. Nigga like, yeah, we gonna go out to a party tomorrow, get on X. I'm like, nah, I'm about to do that shit at the studio. And it's like that synchronization.
That's not a psychedelic though, you know.
MDMA? I don't know.
It can. I mean, I'm assuming it can have some sort of hallucinogenic effects, but it's not.
'Cause it's man-made.
It's not classified as a psychedelic.
And that's what I learned too. Is like that the man-made stuff versus the natural stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like I had a psychedelic experience on MDMA. You see what I'm saying? Because I didn't know. I thought it was just a party drug. It just boost you. Because I took it before and I didn't have this type of experience. But like, man, I take that bit at the studio, and that's what you was talking about, the synchronization. Like, soon as you going through something spiritual, it's like stuff start happening that wouldn't happen no other time.
Yeah.
It's like I go to the studio and it's always empty. It's just me and my engineer, and man, it's so much. But
it's
like,
I think it's something in the. It's something with the astrology, because most Capricorns and Aquariuses can't be messing with psychedelics from my observation like that. But I think it's something about just as your brain develops, it affects your brain differently.
Truth.
You know what I mean? Like, some people just like it just affects your brain differently. Like and
Mm-hmm.
like my brother had like a trippy experience on Molly. I
Word.
did Molly before and after the spiritual experience, and I was not on this earth no more. That never happened. I used to be able to just do X or something like that and go
Be
party,
straight,
go
go
to the
party.
club, go let I'm on that good. That was my
Mhm.
shit on that. But afterwards, it was like, yo, this shit, something's going on in my brain to where it's no longer having the same effect anymore.
This dude, Terrence McKenna.
Yeah.
He said that he was like he don't know, but he said he was like a double Scorpio. And he said whenever I take like certain drugs, certain psychedelics during when the planet is in like the moon phases and all that, like have something to do with Scorpio,
Yeah.
he's like his shit be different. It'd be like bad trips. Any other time it'd be regular, but he said that's something he noticed. He didn't want like admit it, but that's basically what he was saying. It really does got a lot to do with the phases the planet's in and shit. Like sometimes you take it, you'll be straight. Sometimes you take it at the wrong time. Future said that, pop the wrong pill, hit the wrong dial. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit'll really like man, it'll max your ass out. So I don't know, dog. It's some other shit going on, dog.
Yeah, you said earlier, like, you don't really have to, you know how some people say you can't tap in when you do certain stuff.
Right. I could be drunk. Sometimes when I'm at my drunkest, dog, is when I'm the most like clear. Like I done had some of my best ideas as far as changing my life when I was like faded. Like people know me, like just being an Aquarius, they like, man, Aquarius will really lead a party, don't say nothing, just text you the next day. Like they be like, where you went? Oh, like, I went home. Like, nigga, why you ain't say nothing? And it's like I can't say, oh, I had some type of intrusive thought that told me I need to change my life. You know what I'm saying? While I'm like just on alcohol. Like I never came up with some of my best like life changing decisions while I was faded. And it's like, I don't know, different things do different things to different people.
Yeah.
You really can't just push shit in one boat, dog. Like
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I'm on my sober kick right now.
Real talk. Tap in.
I could do this. Handle my business, yo.
Mm-hmm. Some of my like best songs I wrote when I first started rapping, I was sober than a bitch. I wasn't doing nothing. Like my first few songs, like Vomit, Asthma, all that, I was sober, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't know, man. It's just this is an experience, like I said at the beginning. We don't know what this is. We popped up in a random story one day and just kept going. Like, just experience it, dog. Like, when you get too caught up in them ideologies and whatnot, it'll really like hold you back. Sometimes you just gotta go with this shit and just like I said, just tell yourself, check yourself, and just say, it's some other shit going on.
Say it with me, folks. It's
some other shit going on. And that's it, dog. Like, and I'm telling you, I ain't saying it'd be easier, cause like the Bible, it's full of some great things. It's a great guide, you know. But if them forces won't troll you, they gonna use the Bible to troll you. You know what I'm saying? They'll make everything in the Bible appear false to you in real time if they wanna like expose it to you. You know what I'm saying? So like, man, don't play with this shit. That's all I can tell you, dog. Like,
for real.
the universe will troll your ass. Take it from me.
Well, look, man. Why don't you go ahead and plug anything that you got going? Any last words that you'd like to let the people know? Any projects you're working on?
Man, MidCityAB. Go peep Diaspora Babies 1 and 2 on Apple, Spotify, everything. Tap into that. Go read my books. Walk by Fate, FATE. You know what I'm saying? By Arnold Burks, Burks. Short stories and essays by Arnold Burks, Burks. It's on Amazon. Go read them too, man. Tap in and always remember, it's some other shit going on. Real talk, man.
And that'll do it. That'll do it, man.
Do it.
Look, bro, I appreciate.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you for coming out, bro. This is an important conversation, man. And always remember, it's some other shit going on.
It's facts.
This is the Ryan Report, Unlimited Leeway Life. And we out of here, y'all. Much love.